West from the Mexican Gulf and east from the Sierra Madre Occidental mountains, the cultural region known as the Huasteca occupies a territory that crosses over the states of Hidalgo, San Luis Potosí, Tamaulipas, Puebla, Querétaro, and Veracruz, as you can see it in the map. Cultural interaction and diversity are characteristics often used to describe this multi-ethnic region with an important presence of an indigenous population, Tenec, Otomí, Tepehuat, Totonaco, Nahua, and Pame. The constant interaction between indigenous and mestizo populations have historically determined the region's idiosyncrasy. Today, shared cultural and social traits permeate both indigenous and mestizo practices and lifestyles. Huasteca people observe a complex ceremonial calendar and maintain a specific ritual within the religious calendar of All Saints or Xantolo, Christmas, Carnival, and Easter, which is related to the agricultural calendar, particularly around the cultivation and harvesting of corn. Thus, music, known under the generic term of sones, and dance are conceived as an essential part of agricultural, religious, and life cycle celebrations, as well as secular fiestas or huapangos, social occasions to celebrate life and culture. Sones Huastecos are performed, lived, and experienced in huapangos and other social and ritual occasions. Sones de Xantolo are performed during All Saints celebration, October 31st through November 2nd, although the entire celebration lasts until the end of November. In this paper, I studied the dance and the Zapateado in both Sones de Xantolo and Sones Huastecos, having in mind that meaning derives not only from the many elements, the physical, affective, and spatial, within the dance, but from the socio-cultural context in which the dance takes place. Zapateado, I argue, embody values that are a reflection of cultural and social traits among particular groups. After describing Sones Huastecos and Sones de Xantolo, I study the dancing in these sones as what anthropologist Adrian Kepler calls, quote, structure movement systems, products and processes of action and interaction that are part of larger activity systems socially and culturally construct, primarily preserved in memory, end quote, and able to reflect and interpret other aspects of culture. I study these dances as embodied feeling and a means for the building of community and the transmission of cultural heritage, memory, and social knowledge. The Mexican son is a musical style and it's a musical tradition considered by many to be a vital part of their regional cultures. As I have described elsewhere, son or sones is a generic term for a complex of musical genres. Right there you can see the main Mexican sones throughout the entire region of Mexico. Sones also are the various regional subgenres that make up that complex, and the musical style itself, which is performed usually by small ensembles, mostly of chordophones, with or without singing and dance. Sones serve to entertain, but are also performed at celebratory occasions and in ritual. For the purpose of this presentation, I use the term Sones Huastecos to refer to sones performed mainly by mestizo population in social and less ritualized occasions than those in which traditional sones such as Sones de Xantolo are performed. Numerous local nuances in terms of performing styles and repertoire exist. We are going to hear an example of Sones Huastecos performed by the group Tlacuatzin, and this was in February in San Luis Potosí. I think we need the volume a little bit lower. Vete bajando el volumen un poquito, espérate todavía. Vale, poco a poco. Don Victor, the violinist, is one of the best. For me, one of the best living musicians, violinists of the time. Eloy and Yuyulsin, the girl who is singing right now, are exponents of this new generation of musicians playing traditional music and really do a fantastic job. Okay, we'll talk more about this later. Pasa. Sones de Xantolo, on the other hand, are part of the rich and varied corpus of traditional sones. Short compositions, repetitive in character and with various functions. Performed by a variety of ensembles, traditional sones are particular to the occasion in which they are performed. It could be from baptisms to lavamanos, to wedding, to any kind of traditional ceremony, and often are connected to ritual. In the Huasteca, particularly among indigenous people, music is not only integral to the sacred and the secular aspects of life, but transformative. It mediates communication between humans and supernatural beings and functions as a vehicle to establish communication between humans and deities. During Xantolo, music functions as the channel that allows those who inhabit the underworld, the dead, and the heaven, the saints, to be present on the earthly level. Sones de Xantolo are considered the means through which the spirits of the elder communicate with humans to share in the celebration. And this is an example that was recorded last year in a cemetery in Huejutla. Actually, it wasn't Huejutla. This is Tantoyuca. I'll explain a little bit later. Okay? As scholars such as Brandes, Perez Martinez, and Turino have demonstrated, cultural practices in general and musical practices in particular bring a sense of social cohesion and solidarity. As mentioned before, music in the Huasteca region is conceived as an essential part of ceremonies and celebrations. Both sones Huastecos and sones de Xantolo wave the affective and the sonic escapes of social huapangos and social ritual Xantolo occasions. Dancing in both is central to the experience, a means for the construction of social identities and a collective sense of community. Along with Carnival, Xantolo is one of the most important celebrations in the Huasteca Fiesta calendar. Both celebrations are deeply related. They mark the beginning and the end of the two corn harvests in the region. And it is during Xantolo and Carnival when communication between the living and the dead takes place. In Xantolo, all the dead are invoked. During Xantolo came those who have died in peace. During Carnival, those who had died tragically, that's when they come. The fiesta is the occasion for the symbolic exchange and reciprocity, which are essential in sustaining balance in the universe. Ancestors watch over the living throughout the year, and Xantolo is the occasion to give back and welcome ancestors with their favorite food, drinks, copal, incense, flower, candles, music, and dance. For the 3 days the fiesta lasts, sones are played and danced at homes, in front of the altars, at graveyards, and at the streets. Ancestors are invoked through music, and dancers become the reincarnation of the ancestors. Dancers, traditionally only men, dance in groups called comparsas, cuadrillas, or viejadas that can range from 20 to 100 or more. All dancers wear costumes and masks. In the past, most dancers used to dress as old people, hence the name viejada, and women own traditional clothing from the region. At present, women dance in the cuadrillas. Plastic masks are pervasive, and costumes include a variety of characters that are a reflection of social trends and mass media culture. Four main characters are central to any comparsa: the dead, a pregnant woman, symbol of fertility and renewal, a vaquero or cowboy who leads the group and plays the horn announcing the comparsa, and evil, who plays a double role as mischievous but severe character, lashing his whip to both exert power over the group and to make people laugh through playful exchanges with the audience. Dancers should wear their costumes and masks for the duration of Xantolo so that death will not identify them and take them away. On November 2nd, the last day of Xantolo, cuadrillas visit the cemeteries and dance for the dead before gathering at the main square or at an assigned location for the destape. When dancers take off their masks, once they know that dead has departed and will not be able to recognize them any longer, groups await their turn to climb up to the giant tarima to dance and zapatear sones. Xantolo dance is a moving body waved through music and dance. Yearly articulated, it is the sonic and affective space where collective memories are recalled, reinforced, and recreated. The individual and collective body gets stronger as the dance grows in intensity and emotion, synchronizing each element within. The body in motion, as Hannah puts it, is, quote, a powerful symbol as the cognitive, the material, and affective merge. Go. Baja volumen. As we can see, the dance and the zapateado in sones de Xantolo are choreographed. The zapateado, they say, calls the dead and symbolically connects the earth level and the underworld. So it's exactly what Michelle was talking about. The dance and the body become both a symbolic expression of group identity and behavior. Repetition through the years reinforce the feeling of belonging to a common group that persists through time. Meanings of community and permanence are evoked through aesthetic principles that get articulated by the repetitive character of the choreography and the iteration through minimal variations. This feeling of community brings a one flow into the performance. Synchronized zapateado is achieved by each individual connected to the group being immersed in the moment and the emotion in it. Each individual knows the symbolic meaning of the dance as it indexes aesthetics beliefs, each meaning indexing a deeper connection with cultural heritage and identity, and each movement reinforcing group identity and values important to the group, such as solidarity, camaraderie, and egalitarian relationships. Thus, the dancing of sones de Xantolo could be understood as an aesthetic product with cultural meaning, knowledge, and embodied feeling. As in sones Huastecos, such meaning signals at worldviews beyond their present performances. Dancing sones de Xantolo is a good exponent of community building and social identity. Identities are articulated in a constant selection of elements that get resignified in a process of redefinition, such that the sense of belonging to a collective or to a social group is linked to an ideology that legitimizes that belonging. That awareness of cultural heritage is ever present at Xantolo. The self is rearticulated through discursive practices and heritage function as a bonding element within the collective. At the same time, within the performative function of the dance, cultural agency cannot be ignored, as each individual would play a role in the group, stressing creativity in the use of dancing choreographed steps, making them specific, meaningful, and resourceful. Individuality is more prominent in sones Huastecos, as improvisation and personal style are imprinted in the dance movements. Like most Mexican sones, sones Huastecos are strophic. Sung coplas and instrumental sections alternate after an instrumental introduction. They are danced by couple whose zapateado emphasizes and embellishes the beat during instrumental interlude. Dancers switch to descansos or paseos, which are a slower pace and less vigorous steps, during sung sections so that the lyrics can be better appreciated. The zapateado is an essential percussive element in the musical example. Improvisation during the zapateado sections usually takes place in the form of embellishments that the individual chooses to incorporate into a basic fixed pattern, and how different steps are chosen and combined according to the music, the moment, and the motion. Improvisation not only takes place in the zapateado, but in the physical, conceptual, and emotional resources embodied in the body. It is also determined by connection between musicians and dancers, and the sociocultural context, that the audience being one more element in the overall experience, as well as the references that connect the experience to the particular group's worldviews and to previous performances. We are going to see an example. The last example was in the Festival de las Huastecas in Sierra Gorda, in Querétaro, and the singers were improvising. The main theme, it was improvising about food. And the next example is just in Centro Recreativo in Jalapa. Group Tlacuatzin is performing, and I want you, well, this guy is going to just steal your attention. 20 minutes.
We're at 21
okay.
right now.
Okay.
Do you have a minute or so? Is that enough?
Yeah. I think the being straight, the body being straight, it can be taken as a part of maybe of flamenco, part also of the indigenous Huastecan culture, the Totonaco culture, the Pame culture, the Otomi culture, African. No doubt, zones de Xantolo and zones Huastecos could be thought as couplers structure movement systems mentioned earlier, systems of knowledge socially and culturally constructed and primarily preserved in memory. Such systems articulate and create meaning, conveying ideas and values and embodying representations of the group and for the outsider's eye. Gestures and embodied practices contribute to the patterns of cultural expressions that serve to deliver knowledge as well as to pass on to heritage. Dancing is a way to construct, communicate, and share cultural values and beliefs. Thought as a language, it has been described as text in motion or body language by Cooper. And like the grammar in any language, the dancing of zones involves a structure, style, and meaning. The cultural context provides thicker meanings and connotations to the production and experience of movement. Individual features are tangible and intangible, belonging to the context, contain and provide meaning as they are perceived as belonging to a cluster of meaning. Thus, movement in Zapateado and Zapateado itself in both types of zones index a particular belonging to a specific cultural group that can be readily recognized by those in and outside the group. Movement systems are capable to encode both people's creative processes and conscious and unconscious cultural given features. As Novak argues, quote, movement is unique, and even apparently simple and natural actions such as walking and sitting are in part culturally constructed, end quote. In the case of Zapateado in zones Huastecos, we can appreciate how the body remains straight, gentle, looking outward toward the partner, each physical displacement determined by the partner's movement, action as a reaction, cause and effect. Thus, movement qualities are culturally variable and determined by both the particular cultural group as well as the context and social occasions in which dances takes place. Movement in zones de Xantolo, for example, are particular to the dance, to the need for each body to be part of a collective one, the troupe moving as one and imposing a powerful and synchronized zapateado over the tarima, the body bent to give strength to the zapateado, every part of the body creating an intention and delivering a forceful zapateado. On the other hand, zones Huastecos dance encodes, among other notions, that of courtship, perpetuating traditional gender roles. The dance itself is a couple dance based on courting, the male dancers pursuing the female and showing off his energetic, precise, elegant, robust, or gentle zapateado during instrumental interludes. In either case, for Xantolo and zones Huastecos, as for both male and female, movements are controlled and composed. That's my own opinion. And the zapateado could be seen as a display of emotional and physical intention. As we have seen, dance as a structured movement system and body and movement as social constructions have a lot to do with embodied memory and feeling. They carry an impressive amount of gestures and physical movement that are part of our cultural systems of knowledge. What Connerton calls habit memory, end quote, is sedimented in our physical bodies and expressed through bodily practices, gestures and movements. It is through such memory and bodily practices that social structures and experiences are reproduced. Like in other dances, zones reconnect past and present while creating an experience in the present. Time and space are meaningful as every aspect of the dance records on deeper, conscious and unconscious, physical and symbolic cultural meanings and knowledge systems. Expressive movement and bodily practices are part of our mnemonic systems. As such, they get to be passed on and transferred to future generations. Through embodied action and cultural agency, the dancing of zones plays a vital role in the transferring of culture and social knowledge, memory, and identity. Thank you, Pancho. Thanks.